Hello, folks. Thanks for sticking with us through the news and NHL Nuke of the Week. Well, guys, we're more than halfway through the season, and you know what that means? Yes, it's time for another Power Rankings by me and Steven. So let's see where our heads are at and see where we place every NHL team. Um, I base my rankings basically on how they're playing lately. Some teams dropped. This doesn't reflect the standings, although it kind of seemed like it. It follows the same pattern, but yeah, it's just on how they're playing right now and where I would rank these teams. So, Steve, let's get right into it, buddy. Who do you have at number 32?
32, I have the Montreal Canadiens. I find this season is really depressing for them. Not much there offensively, not much there defensively. Jeff Petry's playing like dog shit. Price is still out. I'd like to see some moves at the deadline to bring in some picks. This team has a good shot at Shane Wright. Hopefully, for their sake, they win the draft lottery. But I think there's good pieces here. They drafted Sean Farrell a couple years ago in the fourth round. He's playing in Olympics. Got 5 points today,
Yeah, he's
actually
doing
for their
unreal.
team. Yeah, so they got some good pieces. It'll be nice to see it all come together. But I think they're gonna have to rebuild it for the next 2 or 3 years for them to get fully back on track. I feel like that run was a one and done.
Yeah.
So that's my 32. How about yourself?
I couldn't agree with you more. I got the Montreal Canadiens. There's absolutely no explanation needed. They haven't won a game since January 18th. So,
That's a good
I
answer.
mean, if you haven't won a game in almost a month, there's no way in hell you're being anywhere higher than 32, pretty much.
Yeah,
Unless you're,
that's fair.
yeah. Who do you got at 31?
31. I have the good old Arizona State Universities.
Yeah, I don't think we mentioned that the 5,000 capacity
Yeah,
fucking center. So,
yeah. So
why do you
there's
have
not
him?
much there. There's not much there. No offense, no defense. I mean, they got fucking Antoine Roussel on their team. That shows you where they are in the standings.
Yeah, but they also
I
got
like some pieces. I like Chikrin. I really don't think they should ship him, but I feel like they're in a spot where it's kind of hard to decide, and he might not want to stay there, so there could be some tension in that relationship. But I don't think there's many pieces here. They haven't drafted much lately. They got Gunther because they had traded OEL and Garland last year, got that ninth pick. There's not many pieces. They need to accumulate draft picks and draft again. It's just another rebuild. It's starting completely over. It didn't work in previous management, and now they just got to try again. There's not much else they can do in Arizona.
yeah, yeah, well said. I also have Arizona at 31, and I only have them this high because Montreal is at 32nd. This isn't surprising, like you said, they don't have any pieces. They just gotta tear this bitch down. Stack
Mm,
cap space, try to get as many picks as they can from other teams, and try to build this up better than what it looks like now.
yeah, good. Well said.
Did you got at 30?
30, I had the Philadelphia Flyers. I'm not a fan of where this organization is going. I think they need to make a decision, whether that decision is to try and get things back on track, make a few trades, find some quality players, or make the decision to we need to step back. We need to let this train start over. If Giroux decides he wants out, I think that's when you make that decision. I do think they have good players, but I don't think it's all together. I think the management is, excuse me, disorganized, and I think they need a restructure of what's going on and a new methodology of what should happen to fix it. I don't think everybody's on the same page in Philadelphia.
Yeah, agreed. I don't have that in depth. I just think they're a shitbag team. I'm not sure when they're going to be good again, but it's definitely not going to be this season. I think what did they go on like a 13 game losing streak or something? Like just embarrassing.
Nothing good.
But yeah, they lost to fucking Montreal, man. That just shows you. Um, yeah, they're just I don't know, not a good team to watch. They
Not right
don't
now.
have
No.
they don't have many young like superstars upcoming, and their team right now just isn't clicking. So something's got to happen. From everything I've heard, I can almost guarantee that Drew's going to trade deadline.
Yeah.
But I
Go to
think that
Minnesota.
decision is made. I think they are going in a rebuild
Go to
direction.
Minnesota.
Yeah, he's going to Colorado. But good try.
No.
Who do you have at 29?
I have the Sabres at 29. And I feel like there's a bit of hope for Sabres. I really like the addition of Tuck and Krebs through that Golden Knights trade. Um, Tuck loves playing there. I think they got a lot of great young players. Powered, Darlene. They have Devin Levi. They have Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Sick
Jack
name.
Quinn. Yeah, sick name. One of the best names in hockey right now. Jack Quinn, sniper. They drafted around 10th overall. Uh, Last year or the year when Rossi was drafted. That's all I know. That's a Rossi draft for me. And yeah, I like their pieces. They got some good young pieces. It's just unfortunate that it's about the fifth Buffalo rebuild in the last 10 years. So let's hope that they figure it out.
Yeah, they've been rebuilding since 2014. So yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of sucks. At
This,
29, I had Seattle Kraken. I think they're playing worse right now than Buffalo. I think Buffalo got at least a bit of spunk to them. Seattle just doesn't, I don't know, win games. Their goaltending is shit. I'm going to be honest, I've seen this coming. Seattle wasn't a very fun team to watch. How they built their team, like I was at least intrigued to watch Vegas play. I haven't seen a Seattle game in my life. I haven't been, I don't know, drawn to watch them. I wish they got like Vlad Tarasenko or something crazy like that, where I'd be incentivized to watch them. But yeah, they're just, I don't know, not a very interesting team, but it's going to be fun to see what they do trade deadline. I think they have some pieces that they could move for some assets. Um,
Giordano to the Leafs.
we'll see, man. I got a couple team men that might go to the Leafs that I got in my mind, but that's for another video. Who do
Mhm.
you got at 28?
I have the Kraken, one below or one above you. I,
Hmm.
I do like their goal. I like Grubauer. I think he's a good goalie. I think they're playing structurally. They're not playing well structurally right now. I don't think they have the depth. The skill's not there, and the depth is okay, but it's not scoring depth. It's not players that go out that can score you 20 goals from the third line. That you need a couple players who can fit lower in the lineup and score goals. But Seattle doesn't even have players who can fit higher in the lineup and score goals. So the way they went about the fantasy draft was just not how you get goal scorers. So it's going to be a long time before they become an electric team to watch.
Yeah, true. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, they took a lot of reaches. They got Everly, which is a good move in my opinion, but then they took people like Colin Blackwell. I know he had a great season in New York, but I didn't really believe that was the actual Colin Blackwell, and it turns out it wasn't. He's more of like a 10 or 15 goal scorer instead of like
Oh
what he was
yeah,
projected to be. Like he was projected to be like 25 or 30
no
overall.
way.
So I kind of seen that coming, but I don't know. They chose size over skill, and this is what you get when you choose size over skill. Basically, you got to have an even mix of it, and they didn't do a very good job of that. I don't think.
No. Who
It's an
do you have at
expansion
28?
draft, buddy, not a fantasy draft.
Oh, sorry about that.
Hey, no worries, man. We swapped we swapped 29 and 28 because I got the Buffalo Sabres one above you.
Hmm.
I think Buffalo is playing a bit better than Seattle this year, but I will say one thing: the curse continues. They're red hot in October. The Buffalo Sabres cannot be beat in October. All their fans get hyped, starts jumping through tables. This is our year. This is our year. We're so much better.
Hot in
You know,
October.
fuck, and then they're dog shit in the rest of the season. And I think they
Hmm.
were what a top five team all of October and midway through November, and now they're down at 28 on my power ranking. So it doesn't really surprise me. They're getting
No,
better
that's
though, like
good.
you said. They got an enormous blue line. I know they
Great
do.
blue line they're
They're
building.
not huge, but they're skilled. Dalian, that
Power's
kid
huge.
Jacob Bryson, is it Brisson?
Bryson is talented.
Yeah, dude, they're all skilled. They got the skilled blue line, so there's no doubt they're gonna be good. They've just been
This
rebuilding
is the
for
time.
12 years.
This is the one. I truly believe that.
This is the time that the rebuild works.
I think so. Yes.
Dude, you shipped out your starting center, but Krebs and Tuck have been playing unreal since they got there.
If they get another forward this year in the draft, I believe they're gonna do well. Who'd they grab last year? They had two picks. Isaac Rosen was the first round pick by them, I believe, too. So he's a talented Swedish forward. He's not a big name god, but he has top 6 potential, I believe.
Who else
So
did
we'll
they
see.
get?
Own power as
Power.
it grows in.
Dude, I'm high on drugs. Yeah, right. Yep, that makes sense. Checks out. Who do you have at 27?
I had the Chicago Blackhawks.
All right. Oh,
It took Edmonton losing to the Chicago Blackhawks to change their coach. So that speaks volumes of how shitty Chicago's been over the last few years, in a sense. I mean, they haven't been totally shitty, but this year's been a state. I mean, um, uh, coach Carlton, yes, just came to me. Um, he didn't offer much for this team. I don't know if their new coach King, I'm not sure his name, Dave King, is offering much either. I think they should have went for the rebuild. I think they tried to turn it around too quick. It was a bad decision. Started giving up assets. I don't like it. I think they need to lay back and start grabbing more picks and just they're not going to win with Kane and Taves. They got the wrong idea. I think in Chicago.
yeah.
They've won. They've already won.
I think that idea wasn't made by management as much as it was made by the fans and by Can and Tays. I think they kind of, persuaded the management to say, "Hey, we're still ready to go." Kane had almost 100-point season last year, didn't he? And he was saying, "Buddy, I'm ready to go, dude. You still got me in my prime for another 3 or 4 years." So, oh, fuck it, we'll go out and get Flower, we'll go out and get Seth Jones, we'll make a stab at it, but it just didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
You
You
need
have
to
at
you need to
27.
build a core. You can't bring all these different players in one spot and expect to win. You gotta find chemistry, and that takes years. That takes 3 or 4 years. That's why teams like I guess Anaheim, Ottawa, LA Kings are going to be so successful in the
They're going to
future.
be
They're
successful.
building up
Yeah.
a core and then learning together, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what every good team does, and that's how they.
Yeah.
At 27, I got New Jersey Devils. I think I think they're playing well, but they're not winning any games. And if you don't win games, you're not going to move up in my power rankings anyway. I think I don't know. They just haven't been getting good goaltending lately. Jonathan Bernier's been out with an injury since God knows when, December. Mackenzie Blackwood is not himself this year. They brought in John Gillies. Is that his name?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then
And
they got another
he's
guy who's
I
like,
mean, he's not playing outstanding. So
yeah.
at this point, it's mostly goaltending for me. Dawson Mercer's on fire. He was the first star when they played Montreal, I think, and they beat them. That's not saying much because it's Montreal, but still, he got a goal and assist in like 18 minutes of ice time. So fucking right, Dawson Mercer. But
Let's go.
yeah, you can't move up my power rankings, New Jersey, until you start winning games. So start doing that, and you move up. Who do you got at 26?
I have the Devils at 26. You just discussed. Same reason they need to win games. I think they're doing a good job of bringing in players, and I think it's slowly coming together. But they're not winning yet. So until they win, they're going to stay at the bottom of the fucking rankings.
That's right.
That's all I really have to say. I think you covered a lot of it.
Yeah, and funny enough, at 26, I got Chicago Blackhawks.
Very
Um,
similar rankings so far.
yeah,
We're kind of team for team, if not one off. It's
exactly. Yeah, we've been team for team for the first three, and then we've been alternating every second one. So the reason I got Chicago this high is because they're not a great hockey club. I mean, like you said it perfectly. They tried to rebuild too quick. They tried to turn it around in one season, and you can't do that. Uh, uh, the reason I got them at 26, they would have been lower, but they shit kicked the Oilers like 4-1 the other night. And
mm-hmm.
since the Oilers, I got significantly higher up on my list. Um, I don't know. That made a difference, and I moved them up a bit.
Nice.
Who do you got at 25?
I have the New York Islanders. I I'm not a fan of the team this year. I find there's no offense. There's no scoring happening, and their defense has been struggling. It's not the same defensive team that we've seen years past when they were making conference finals the last couple of years. Um, I don't know if it's just one of those years where you just get off to that bad start and it's in your head and you can't recuperate quick enough. I think that's probably what it is, and I think Trotz is a good coach. So I think it's just one of those years for the Islanders. They're probably going to miss out on the playoffs. I think. Well, I'm fairly certain they're going to miss out on the playoffs.
They're trying to get into a playoff spot in the Metro. They're shit out of luck.
Yeah, they're pretty much out of luck at this point, but they're probably looking at a pick anywhere from 10 to 14 to 15 this year, so they'll get a good pick out of it. It's unfortunate because they have a few older players there, but I think they need to get some better scoring, and I think they need to be a little bit more lenient in the offensive zone.
Yeah,
So
they
I don't.
definitely can't get scoring. You're
They're
right.
not exciting, and they're not winning a tremendous amount of games. And if they're not winning games, they're not putting together a winning streak. So that's why they're this low on my power rankings list.
Yeah, very well said. Um, at 25, I have the Detroit Red Wings. Um, I don't know. They've been a really fun team to watch, and it's been really great to see Sider and Raymond making such big strides and pretty much leading the way. But they're just not ready this season. They're still I don't know. We're still waiting for the future of Detroit, and it's certainly going to be a fun team to watch in the future. But they haven't been winning games lately. I mean, they beat Philadelphia, but that doesn't say much for me because I have Philly so low. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so Detroit doesn't really move up after beating that team. I mean, that's just what you'd expect. So I got Detroit at 25. I thought that was modest. I tried not to be too biased with this pick because, and that's probably bad luck because I got the Detroit hat on, but I don't know. So I tried to nail them a bit harder. They haven't been winning that many games before the All-Star break, so I don't know. And they've been winning games like if they've been winning at all, they've only been scoring like 2 or 3 goals, So
I'm not as hard on them as you. I have them a little bit higher up on my list.
yeah, I'm happy. I have the Islanders higher. I think the Islanders have started to make a little bit of a push. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, who do you have at 24?
I have the Ottawa Senators.
Nice.
I do like this team. I've said I've liked this team when they've been losing, and they're still losing, as a matter of fact. But I do like this team, and I don't mind the coach, and I don't mind Pierre Dorian as much as a lot of people do. I do think he's made great draft choices and good decisions. Uh, albeit with a few bad decisions, signing Matt Murray and to a hefty contract and
Matt Murray's
whatnot.
playing
But
good. Matt Murray's got
he's
a
since he came back from the AHL, he's been playing well.
he's got a 954 save percentage. He's coming back from the AHL in 6 games.
Yeah, that's true. But
And you know what?
overall, he's
His
been a
buddy
bit
is
of a hit and miss. He's been a miss overall over the last 2 seasons.
oh
Is what
yeah,
I'm
oh
saying.
big time for what they're paying him. I think they're paying him 6 mil.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, big time.
but I like what they're building. I think they're slowly winning games. 2 or 3 more years, they're gonna be marching their way out these rankings. I believe. I really like Pinto. I like Norris, and they've got young players coming in. So
Yeah, I got him on the
24.
same. I got him on the same timeline as Detroit. By 2025, these teams are going to be taking over in the East. I mean, older teams like Boston isn't going to be relevant anymore.
Tampa's gonna be older.
Tampa's going to be older by 2025. I mean, these are the teams that are going to start taking over in the East.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice. Who
big
do you
time.
have?
Well said. Ottawa actually beat Carolina the other night. I watched the second
Yeah,
period.
and
They got
Leafs.
four to
They
three.
got shit on in Ontario. The Canes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they did. Ottawa was up 4-0 though, going into the
Hmm.
third period. And I told my mom, I was like, I have a feeling Carolina's going to start coming back. And Carolina scored 3 straight goals and hit the post late in the third period, and they ended up losing 4-3. But it was a good game.
Yep.
Um, at 24, I have the Columbus Blue Jackets. They weren't they weren't high on this list at all before. I don't know, February. They were doing shit all year, but in February they started to turn it on a little bit. Even at the last bit of January. Line I think, has like 5 goals in his last 3 games, which is like,
He's
okay,
playing well.
Line wants to come back. So yeah, they're slowly moving up the rankings. I think this team isn't going to make playoffs, but they're starting to learn together, man. It's hard losing your coach and losing, a player like Atkinson that was such a high um, in the pecking order of that team, but they are starting to learn how to play together. And Line is, I think, starting to be more of a team player. So hopefully that continues because I don't know. As much as Ohio is a shithole, you love to hear the cannon go off.
Referenced in our first episode
Yeah,
ever.
exactly. That's an insider joke for all the diehard Hockey Tank podcast followers, if we have any. But yeah, Blue
Ecuador.
Jackets at 24. I thought that was pretty fair for the Blue Jackets. Who do you have at 23?
I got the Sharks.
Okay.
I don't think there's much going on in San Jose right now. It's unfortunate. They're so mediocre. They'll win one, lose two, win two, lose one, lose three, win one, lose two, win one, win three, win five, lose one. Like it's so like all over the place. There's no consistency. I really like Hurdle. I like some of the guys they have. I don't know if they move and trade out Hurdle or not. They've done fair this year. I mean, I believe they're over. I believe they're winning above their losses. I think it's 22-20 to like 3 years. I don't know.
I
That's
think they're I
probably
think they're above 500 because I have them.
yeah.
I have them significantly higher than you do. So
Yeah, they're
I
above 500. I don't see much going on in San Jose. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to be terrible. I think they're a little bit middle. Maybe this is a bit of a harsh ranking reflecting back on it, but I just don't I don't get excited to watch a San Jose game, and I don't know if anybody does. So
I
that's
mean I
why I have
get
him
excited
23.
because Timo Meyer.
He's a good fucking player,
He's
yeah.
a great player, man.
He's a bright spot for that club.
Definitely.
Yeah.
He would
Who
be
do you have
the if
20?
you told me you're blowing up that team and I can only save one player, that'd be the guy I'd keep.
Yeah.
Sure.
Who do you have at 23?
At 23, buddy, I have the Ottawa Senators. I'm a bit giving them a bit more slight than you after beating Carolina because I consider Carolina, around the top 5 best team in the league. So um, I definitely have to give it up to Ottawa to beat Carolina. It was probably a long road trip and they're probably tired. But that's no excuses. When you come to Ottawa, you kind of got to beat a team like that, and Ottawa played well against Carolina. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they've been playing good hockey lately. I'm very impressed with them. They passed my expectations. I thought they were going to be a lot closer to the bottom of the the Atlantic than what they are. I think they're on the same timeline, like I said, as Detroit, though. I think they just got to take the time. The future looks bright. I think they got a great blue line coming up. So excited for the future, man.
Yeah. It's looking good in Ottawa.
Sure. Who do you have at 22?
I got the Red Wings at 22.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I like what they're building. I don't think they're ready, and that pretty much sums it up. They're not ready. They're young. They have some good pieces. They have a good captain. It's going to take a while in Detroit yet, so they're just going to sit around in the middle for the next 2 or 3 years, I think, and then when they bring guys like Edvidson in and some more of their picks, and Casa turns into NHL goaltender within the next 2 to 3 years, I think it's going to be going good then. Until then, they're going to be in the middle.
Fair enough.
That's really all I have to say.
Yep. Yeah, Robbie Fabry's back. Got 2 points in his first game back. He's looking good. He was out for shoulder surgery for 4 months, so good to see him come back with a bit of flair. You got one thing wrong, buddy. I think Kosa is going to take a bit longer than 2 or 3 years. I think he might be a 4 or 5 year project just because he's playing in juniors right now. And the junior goalies, man, they take a bit longer to develop, I find, than European goalies for some reason. I guess it's just they haven't been playing against men or something, but
We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. I think he's going to be a really good goalie.
I fucking hope so. They drafted him.
I think Wallstedt's better, though.
I think Wallsted's better too. I wish we had Wallsted, but that's good for Minnesota anyway. They need some new goalie because Cam Talbot is starting to.
Shut up, man. You don't have a
Sorry,
clue.
fuck, I gotta get it in every podcast. I gotta do it. I gotta do it to you.
Cam Talbot fan club here.
Population 1.
Population 2. Cam Talbot and Cam Talbot's wife.
Are you? Yeah, at 22, man, I'm giving them more credit than you did. I picked the New York Islanders. I think they're starting to pick it up. It's almost impossible to recover after the bad start they've had, but I think they're starting to play better. Matt Barzal is being, producing more offensively. I think players like Brock Nelson, I think he's got 12 on the season. Fuck, who else? Well, exactly. They're not supposed to be offensively. I think the loss of Jordan Eberle really fucked them up. I don't think they are counting on that for some reason. I don't know why they wouldn't protect him. I guess they're like, we got fucking 16 players who can score that many goals, and then he leaves and nobody's can score that many goals. So, I don't know.
That was a tough loss.
Yeah, that was a tough break. I don't know. I think they protected him so they wouldn't have to lose Wallstrom, and I guess that's fair. But you could have found someone else to get rid of, except for Eberle. I found, but that's it. Fuck, I'm pretty sure he won. I'm pretty sure he might have. No, I didn't. I thought he won the fountain thing. But doesn't matter. Anyway, New York Islanders at 22. They're starting to play better. I think they will finish in the top 20 teams. I think we're going to see a lot of teams start to drop down. I won't name the teams because they're still to come up yet, but a lot of teams are going to drop below the New York Islanders, I feel.
That's
Who you got
fair.
at 21?
At the Winnipeg Jets,
Yeah,
a
fair.
lot of injuries this year, inconsistent play. Paul Maurice is out. New interim coach in. A lot of changes and not a lot of consistency for the Winnipeg Jets this year. I'd like to see them pull together a set of 6 or 7 wins and no injuries while those wins are going. I like their team. I think they're a playoff team, and I believe they're one of the better teams in the league. It's just they're not showing it this year. Hellebuck's been a bit off. I do really believe that next year they will be a playoff team, and it will be 100% certain they'll be a playoff team. I don't know what's wrong this year. Maybe a few adjustments will do the trick.
Uh, I think their defense is they need some more piece. I think in that defense.
Hmm. Yeah, that's fair. They do need upgrade on the defensive side of the puck.
Yeah.
Who do you
Yeah.
have?
Good call. I had Vancouver Canucks. I just a tough team to watch. I guess they're playing a lot better with Bruce, but they lost a hard game to New York Islanders, which can't produce offense. But then they scored 3 goals on Halak in the first 3 minutes of the game. Or actually, I think they were perfect. I think it was a 0-0 game, and then as soon as the 3 minute mark hit, it was just like bang, bang, bang. They scored 3 goals in 1 minute. So that was tough. Um, I guess I shouldn't have them this low because they are playing really good right now, but there's a lot of teams that I didn't feel. I don't know. I wouldn't feel like the Canucks would beat. They've been on a tear. I think what they won 6 or 7 in a row with Bruce. Um, but I think that's
They've been
kind of
doing
just.
well lately.
I don't know. They almost lost a game to Arizona. Actually, no, they beat them like 5-1. Never mind. But yeah, I don't know.
That bad start just kind of sticks in your head.
Yeah, it does. I guess I just feel I don't know. I don't think they're a very good defensive team. I think JT Miller is definitely a bright spot there. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, they
and he
should be
could
a
be a
bit
trade
higher
bait.
up, I suppose, but um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I
just
don't know. Hopefully they can grab a wild card in the Pacific or something because I mean you'd love to see this team
that'd
go
be
on
a
a bit
good
of a run.
story.
Yeah, it would for sure. And you just hate for teams and the California teams to beat the Vancouver Canucks because I don't know. I might be biased here, but I think Vancouver has better fans than the California team's more passionate. So I think they deserve to watch them playoff hockey.
That's a fair way to look at it. Well, not really,
Well, I
but
guess they did burn down their city, but come on, who hasn't burned down their city once? Like,
yeah, come on,
come
get
on, give
out of
them a
here.
break. Who hasn't? Montreal did it. Fuck it, it's all for a bit of fun. You know.
Leafs don't burn it down; they lose every year. So
Yes,
only classy fans in the league.
buddy. I swear to God, they're gonna make it out of the first round this year and fucking destroy that city. They're gonna go on a massive rager.
I might get a ticket to go up and help.
Yeah, might as well, man. Dude, honestly, get some pointers from Vancouver fans. They know how to do it right,
Mm,
man.
yeah, they know how to tear shit up.
Yeah. Who do you got at number 20?
I had the Edmonton Oilers at number 20.
Yeah.
I just a complete drop off. I mean, they put together a few wins when they signed Kane before the All Star break, but they're 0-2 since, and some terrible outings this season. Just nothing. They rely so much on McDavid and Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins and Nurse. They're just not gonna. They don't have the team. They don't have the overall team. Goaltending is such an issue. Mike Smith's not there. Koskinen not there. There needs to be some fixes if the Oilers plan on making the playoffs. I told my buddy from college that he's a huge Oilers fan. They need a goalie really bad. Like they're not gonna fucking make the playoffs with this goaltending group. They're too old. And defensively, it's not all there, man. It's just less than the coaches. You can uh, fire a coach. I'm trying to get it out. I'm choking up here. That's how much I've talked about the Oilers lately. You can fire the coach and you can do whatever you want, but if you don't have the players to win, you're not going to win. Is what I'm saying,
Yeah.
pretty much. And I don't think they have good players. They have some of the best players in the world, but they don't have the team to help those players win. So that's why they're at 20. They dropped a lot. If this was like the first month and a half or 2 months of the season, it'd probably be like 13 or 12.
Yeah, I think you said it best earlier when I mean it probably was a bad move firing the coach. I mean that's just the easiest decision to make. I mean that's just the first guy you look to blame. It's way easier to blame one guy than it is to blame a room full of players, you know. So I agree
Uh,
with you here. I have him a little bit higher than you, but definitely around this area.
Tippett's not the problem. Is basically what I was
No,
saying.
he's a good coach, man. I like Tippett.
Hmm. Well, I mean, that's all I had to say on the Oilers at 20. Sorry, Brandon.
I got another Canadian team here. I got the Winnipeg Jets. So they're just above 500. They should be a lot closer to the top, in my opinion. Like you said, just dealing with injuries, bad bounces, and just inconsistent goaltending is their problem here. Um, they're going to be a very interesting team to watch come the trade deadline. You don't know if this team is going to sell, if they're going to trade. They probably
I don't
should
know what they're
buy.
gonna do. I think they're
You
gonna.
know,
I think they're gonna try and buy. Honestly,
they should, in my opinion, they should try to target either Sherratt or I don't know another bigger, two-way defenseman. I don't think they should go after an offensive defenseman. I'd say go after Petrie, but I think he would fit better in other places than Winnipeg. Even though they could use a bit more offense on the back end. So maybe Petrie would help the Winnipeg Jets. I don't know. But yeah, just gonna be a fun team to watch. I don't think they're in it right now. Hopefully they start playing good. It's not impossible to make the Central. They got to beat out some good teams like Dallas Stars and St. Louis. But I think it's possible.
it's possible, but they got to get on the fucking go.
Yeah, they really do, man.
Hmm.
Who do you got in at 19?
I had the Blue Jackets. I don't mind the Blue
Oh, fuck,
Jackets.
all the way up here, eh?
Yeah, I don't mind the Blue Jackets. I think they play hard and they have a pretty decent roster constructed. Laine's on fire. Domi puts up his fair share of points lately. He's been hotter now than what he was at the earlier at certain parts of the season so far. So I do think they have a good roster. I don't believe they're a playoff team. That's why they're sitting outside the playoff mark. I think they're competitive and I think they play smart hockey. So rather than a team like New Jersey or the Blackhawks, I find that the Columbus has this consistency to them where they can play some of the best teams in the league and win a game so easily. But then they can also play a team like Arizona and probably lose in a shootout.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
like that little bit of consistency there.
Yeah. So, yeah, they won against Washington the other night. Line got two of the goals. Domi, I think, might have got a couple points in there. Um, they're a good team. They're on their way up. I had them, at 24. They're slowly moving up for me.
The
But
Blue Jackets are inconsistently consistent.
yeah, yeah, they are. That's a good way to look at it. I think yeah, they have a good goaltending tandem. I find too. It's
Yeah,
not terrible. Um, what is it, Merslikins
they
and
need a star forward. They need a star
they
center.
got him. Line.
He's not a center.
It's not. You didn't say a center. You said a forward.
Oh well, I changed my answer.
um, yeah, I guess they were expecting more from Patches. I thought it was a mistake to let Wenberg go. I thought Wenberg was good there. They traded away Dubois. I guess it's fair though. I would think I'd rather have Line than Dubois. I think it's much harder to find a player like Line than it is to find a player like Dubois.
I think they should go for a center like Sean Monahan.
No, man, they don't need another second line player. They already got that. They already got that in Domi.
Yeah, but they're never going to be able to get a first line center in the open market. That's the thing.
No, that's why they have to hope on Kent Johnson or Cole Sillinger. I don't think
Oh,
either
they're
of those.
gonna make it. They're gonna make it.
Yeah,
Ken
I don't
Johnson's
think
the real
if
deal.
you, I mean, if you're looking for a short-term fix, yes, go after a center. But if you're playing the long-term game, which I would be playing if I was Columbus, I would say, oh, no, we'll just wait until Kenny Johnson or Cole Sillinger comes up now and fills those roles. They're gonna have
Mm,
a good one-two punch there, man. I don't think they should target a center right now.
that's a good assessment.
I think, yeah, I like that trade for Line, man. Like I said, he's a really unique player. He's got a booming shot, but we've also seen him go coast to coast. He's really deceptive in his speed. You're like, holy fuck, look at that big sack of rocks over there moving. And then before you know it, he's in your triangle and in the
Sniping it.
crease. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. Columbus, I don't know. I can watch Columbus highlights. I don't mind them.
Mm.
Yeah.
What about you?
19 for
19.
me is the San Jose Sharks, man. They've been scoring goals, but I guess not getting their W's. Eric Carlson's been out. He wasn't putting up much offensively, but that still takes a lot of morale out of the locker room and a lot off the bench. So yeah, they're starting to drop off. I mean, nobody really expected much from this team. They started out super hot. I think they were a top 10 team at one point, but they're starting to fizzle out now, which makes
They
sense.
miss Kane.
Yeah, I would say they misses Kane. Yeah, yeah. They did, buddy. The only motivation they used to get was Kane was like, "You bastards, I got fucking $500. You guys don't win tonight." And then they go out and prove me wrong. So they got nothing
Yeah.
to play for anymore. So you might be right. So this is a team, like I said, that I think New York Islanders can pass. Sharks are one of them. So yeah, they're. I don't know. It's going to be interesting what they do with Hurdle. Why I like the Sharks so much is that they also have no goaltending, but they somehow make it work. Aiden Hill and who's the other guy that's in?
Reimer.
And Reimer are doing surprisingly well for what they're making and what they were projected to be. This going into the season. So
They're doing a lot better than fucking Jones did the last couple of years, that's for
yeah,
sure.
man, Martin Jones is brutal, dude. You know what? He'd have one good season and three bad seasons. That was his problem. If it was the other way around, dude, the guy would have a Vezina.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
he
that's
was a
not the way.
fair goalie. I wouldn't tie his name to Vesna at all, but
No. Yeah, so that's 19 for me. Who do you have at 18?
I had the Canucks.
Yeah,
I like
figured they must be up here somewhere.
yeah, I really like Bruce and I like JT Miller. I like what they're doing. I think they're starting to win some games and they're fixing what was wrong with them in the earlier part of the season. I know that they were really far behind, but they're starting to get close. I mean, they're winning a few games, and they're going like 4 games and a loss, 2 games and a loss, and they're slowly. They weren't even potentially close to the playoffs, but now they actually have a shot. So it's nice to see that, and I think they're heading in the right direction. I think next year, if they add the right players, they can be a playoff team. This year,
Yeah,
I think they're going to be on the edge.
dude. You know what? Unfortunately, I think JT Miller goes to New York.
He's
New
probably going to be
York
traded.
Rangers. What?
He's probably going to be traded.
Unfortunately, because he's a great player and he could definitely help him out next year. But I think the GMs there, I think Alvin has already decided these players got to go. They need some more like cap room. I mean, OEL is tying up so much cap. Just like he's playing good though. OEL I think he's got 6 assists in his last 3 or 4 games too.
He's been
OEL's
playing well lately.
yeah, but unfortunately, I think JT Miller's the odd person out, which is sad to see him go. But man, if he
Hmm
gets playing with some actual players like Panarin and Zibanejad and Kreider, I mean, this guy is gonna fucking light it up in wherever he goes. I think it's gonna be New York.
hmm
I think he's your second line right winger, right behind Kreider.
That's a good top six.
Oh, buddy, is it ever?
Hmm
So I think,
Wow,
yeah, I think that's their guy. But yeah.
that's a good
Yeah,
assessment.
good pick, man. I had Vancouver a bit further back, but they're definitely climbing the rankings
They're
quick.
climbing, man. They're climbing.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
I think they're going to be on the edge. That's my prediction, but
Yeah,
we'll see. Who do you have?
I got the Edmonton Oilers just because I can't put them any lower, and I couldn't put them any higher. Actually, I could have put them higher if they didn't get shit kicked by Chicago, man. They lost 4-1 to Chicago, and that turned my stomach, man. I was like, guys, you were on a fucking little win streak. All you had to do was beat Chicago, which is a shit team, but they couldn't. They
Yeah.
couldn't do that. So I don't know. It seems like they had a bit of momentum, and if they beat Chicago, I think they would have broke through and went on a 6 or 7 game winning streak.
hmm
But I mean, just losing to Chicago, that's got to kill the momentum, man. So I think they're gonna. I think it's. I don't know. I thought the worst was over, man, but I think they're just gonna be a 500 team from now on. I think it's very possible they miss the playoffs. Their only chance of getting in really is if Anaheim, Los Angeles, and Sharks start shitting the bed and drop down to Seattle and Arizona numbers.
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, man. I don't think, like we said and we discussed plenty of times in this episode already. I don't think Tippett was a problem.
No,
So
and you know what? I haven't heard. very much of. Geez, I already got the fucker's name forgot, man.
Jay Woodcroft.
Poor bastard. Yeah, Woodcraft. I haven't heard much about this guy, man. I'm sure he's a. I'm sure he's a
He's a
co.
guy.
I'm
I'm
sure
sure
he's
he's a
some
guy.
guy. Yeah, exactly. I don't think they made up this person or anything, but I haven't heard of any of his success.
Yeah, I'm that Jay Woodcroft guy. I'm sure he's a guy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like Bob McKenzie said it best. That Jay Woodcraft guy, he's some by, and that's about it. But yeah, their goaltending is a big issue, man. It needs to be addressed trade deadline. They were like, oh yeah, Mike Smith is back. Mike Smith fucking lost 4-1 to Chicago, and I wouldn't doubt it if he fucking got another injury from it, man. I'd say he's got a broken heart.
They keep saying, "Oh, it's from within." The only thing from within is fucking diabetes and carpal tunnel. These guys are fucking ancient. They're getting trade for a younger goalie, man.
Oh
Holy
man, they
fuck!
got to. I would be targeting Varlamov. I'd be targeting
Varlamov, yeah, that's a
I'd
good
be
one.
targeting Grubauer. I'd be going after Flower. One of these goalies, one of those three goalies has got to make their way to Edmonton for them to even have a chance at making it to the second or third round. If they
And
don't do
then
that, they're hopeless. They're not going to make the playoff.
they're not, and even then, is not you're not certain if they're going to succeed in that environment. So
Exactly. Who do you got at 17?
I had the Ducks.
Yeah, fair enough.
I like the Ducks. I like their skill. I like their mixture of old and new. I think they have a lot of speed, but I also think they defensively they can lack sometimes. I find they have a lot of good defensemen and well-known defensemen, but I don't think they're playing up to their potential all the time. So it kind of hurts them a bit in Anaheim. I think a couple of these guys are probably a little bit overrated, even though they do find ways to produce consistent defensemen in the NHL. But yeah, it's fine. Overall, I don't see them as a really good playoff contender yet. I think they're 2 years out, and they're gonna have to build and they're gonna have to learn, and it's a learning curve for them at this point. So that's why I have them there.
Yeah, same as the other teams we talked about. And funny enough, this is our first pick we've had the same since number 30. I also have the Anaheim Ducks here. I'd expect them to drop more, but the future looks bright. It definitely does. Their goaltending is sick. I mean, they have an all-star goalie. But yeah, they're just too young right now. The same as Detroit, same as Ottawa, same as any other team, man. They got to grow,
They
and
need
they're
to
gonna be
learn.
good when they do grow, man.
Yeah,
So, who do you got at 16?
I had the Stars at 16. I think they're finding their way. Tough start to the season. I still believe Bonus is a good coach. I think after he broke that stick on the bench, I think that's when
They
they
really
stepped
fired
up.
the guys up.
Yeah, so he's a passionate coach, and he wants to win, and I'm sure the players in Dallas want to win. They're getting old; they don't have a bigger window. Klingberg's on his way out. I don't know if he goes at the deadline. I don't know if they keep him. We'll see what happens, but overall, I think they're pretty middle of the park. Maybe a little bit better than middle at sometimes, and maybe a little bit worse at other times. So we'll see how they
I
do.
think they're a bit better than middling.
Yeah.
But that's for later. For right now, I'm going to talk about the Los Angeles Kings at number 16. The
Hmm.
exact same thing as the Ducks. I went back and forth on these two teams, but this is the only California team that I can see making the playoffs. I think they have the experience. I think they have the skill, and I think their players are ready right now. So if Los Angeles crept into a playoff spot, it wouldn't surprise me. And if they fell to, say, number 20, it also would not surprise me. So, but I think they're playing
Hmm.
good hockey right now, man. Drew
They're playing
Doughty.
good. They've been winning a few games lately.
Yeah, Drew Doughty came back from an injury and he didn't miss a step. Anze Kopitar slowed down a bit. Arvidsson is playing good. Their young players are playing good. I'd like to see, obviously, Byfield coming in and Jesus Christ, tear it up. But they're, dude, I just hiccuped and voice cracked at the same time. That sounded
Yeah.
fucked. When I go back and listen to this, man, that's gonna be fun. Yeah, but yeah, Kings above the Ducks for me at 16. Who do you have at 16?
You mean
Or who do you
15?
have at 15? Sorry.
Yeah. I got the Kings at 15.
Nice.
Like you said, I think they need to. They're probably the best California team right now, in my
Agreed.
eyes too. But it's just one of those things. A mix of young and old. It can work out and it can get you in the playoffs, but it might not get you in the playoffs. So I think they have a good group overall, and I think they're gonna make their way into the playoffs again and start competing fairly soon because they have one of the best prospect pools in the league without a doubt.
You know what the LA Kings
So,
remind me of?
what's that?
The Ducks in '07. They had veterans like Solani, Niedermeyer, um, all these
Then they get Slav, young guys like
legends,
Getzlaf,
and then they
Perry.
had Perry, Getzlaff, and all these young guns come in. And then
Hmm.
they also had kind of a veteran goalie in Jaguar.
That's a great
I'm pretty sure he was
comparison.
a 10-year veteran. So, or
Yep.
Jesus, no, he wasn't 10 years. He was probably 8. So yeah, this kind of reminds me of the Ducks of '07. So maybe
Yep.
we might see a cool little push of, like you said, a blend of young and old players making a playoff push.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see.
Yeah.
Who'd you have at 15?
Dude, like again, we swapped. I got Dallas Stars here. Um, they
Who'd,
beat the Preds the other night
yep.
in a tough, I think it was a 4-3 game, and I think that was last night. They're looking a lot better now than the first half of their season. It seems like they're gelling a little bit more. I don't see a situation where Klingberg stays. He's definitely getting moved at the trade deadline. I don't know. I don't know to what team. It's going to be a surprise wherever he goes because no team
Hmm.
really needs him and can take his salary. But he's going somewhere for sure. Um, yeah, they're looking good right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they made the playoffs and maybe made it to the second round.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true, man.
Who do you
I pretty
got
much said
at
the same thing.
sorry, no, who do you got at 14?
At the Capitals at 14, I think they slowed down a bit. They were pretty hot at the start of the season. They're not slowing down to the point where it's like bad, but they're just losing more games than they were. But they're still on a good pace, and they're going to make the playoffs. Just a competitive team, and 14's not a bad place to be. Um, I just found that they were getting a little bit inconsistent lately, so that's why I dropped them a little bit. But they could be up in top 5 or 6 when we do another power rankings at the latter part of the year. So yeah, just overall good team, playoff competitors. I think they're going to compete, and they could win the cup. They're one of those teams that could go in and go on a run and win a cup, and it wouldn't be an insane feat.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I'll touch on them a bit later. But for right now at 14, I have the Boston Bruins. I think they're not scoring enough goals. Every game they play now is like a 4-3 game, if not a 3-2 game. They lost to the Penguins the other night, which isn't a surprise. I mean, Penguins are a really good team, but um, I don't know. They're they're not a bad team, but it's definitely they've definitely dropped off a lot since the beginning of the season. I mean, I don't know. It just comes in ebbs and flows. I guess they were bad to start the season, picked it all the way up, and now they're kind of dropping back off. And it wouldn't surprise me if they dropped off a bit more because Bergeron and Marchand aren't playing tonight.
Hmm.
So just up and down with the Bruins. So yeah, at 14 for me. Who do you have at 13?
I got the Flames at 13. I really love the way they play hockey. I love that grind them out with speed and toughness and be able to score and be able to defend. I really like their overall game. I like the coaching change they made uh, a little while back with Siller. I love the way they play hockey, man. I just think they're going to be a competitive team, and I think they're more dangerous in the playoffs now than the regular season. And they've never really been dangerous in the playoffs, but I think just because of the style they play, if they get in the playoffs, they could take out a team like Colorado because just the way they play. I really believe that you get into 4 or 5 games with a team like this, and they find ways to defend against you and wear you down. I think Calgary's a team that can wear other opponents down easily.
Definitely, yeah. I agree with you on all those points. And you didn't even mention did you Markstrom? I think
No, great goalie,
Markstrom broke a record the other night for the most shutouts by a Flames goalie in a season, and he's still
yeah,
got half a season to keep going. So
incredible goalie.
great
They miss him at
goaltending this year for
Vancouver.
sure. At 13, I got the Washington Capitals. I mean, I agree with everything you said. They're definitely slowing down a bit. Ovi was out, and he was out for COVID protocol. Came back and just got an assist, but I mean, he's getting older now. There's only so much goal scoring that you can get out of him. He was probably pissed off to see a guy like Chris Kreider fucking overtake him for the Rocket. I'd be too if I was Ovi. There's a good team, but goaltending surprisingly has been an issue. I didn't think their goaltending was going to be a problem. Vanisek and Samsonov were deadly at the start of the season. They're probably one of the best 1-2 punches. But lately they've been struggling,
They have, yeah.
which is bad to see, man. I think every game now they're letting up at least 4 goals, which you don't really
Bring
want.
Zach Fucali back up.
Yes, exactly, man. The longest running shutout uh, record that was broken by an empty netter by fucking Kuznetsov or someone like that,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I
Something
don't
on a
know.
delayed penalty. But yeah, he got sent down because he let in that empty net goal. Fucking bum. No, I
Yeah,
love Zach. Jesus, uh, Fucali. I watched him at the Mile One Center probably like
Ice Caps.
years ago. Yeah, with the Ice Caps, beauty.
Hmm.
Who do you got at 12? I have a feeling it might be Boston.
It's Boston.
Yeah, I know. I was waiting for him.
Yeah, yeah, they're getting injuries, and they're a solid team though. I mean, they're a solid team. I think they need to upgrade their center depth. Overall, they play like Boston. They're always going to be hard to play against. They're always going to be ready, and they can jump on you in the first period and score 3 goals, or they could have a shit first period. Um, it all depends. I think they're much like Calgary. I'd worry about Boston in the playoffs. I don't give a shit about them in the regular season. They can win playoff series because they can wear you down.
As
I've
a
seen
Toronto
that.
fan, I think you might be just speaking up your PTSD.
I've seen that they can wear you down. Um, and it factor that some teams have and some teams don't. I believe Calgary has that. I believe the Bruins have that. Um, I wouldn't be able to say other teams off the top of my head that have that, but there's a certain when you're playing against a team. Columbus, the last couple of years, they beat Tampa,
Yeah,
they beat Toronto.
yeah, they did.
There's certain teams that can wear you down, and I think the Bruins are like that. And they're pretty high on my list because they're still a good team, even though they've been through some struggles.
Yeah, they for sure are. At number 12, I have the Calgary Flames. Like you said it pretty much perfect about their team, but just going back to their goaltending, I mean, Markstrom broke the record for the most shutouts by a Flames goalie in a season, and he's still got half season to go. Vladar is such a sneaky, underrated, good
He is
backup
sneaky good.
goaltender. Probably one of the better goal backups in the league. He's probably got 2 or 3 shutouts
Hmm.
this season already. Um, their forwards are firing on all cylinders as well. They just beat Vegas 6-0, which was last night, I believe, which is incredible. Um, uh, I don't know. They just got a really deep team too. Like we said about the Kings, they have a good mix of um, young players and old players coming together just to form this really dynamic, very like I don't know, old and wise kind of minded team, which is what you need deep in a playoff run anyway. It doesn't matter how skilled you are. I mean, the vets know how to get it done in the playoffs, so you definitely need them.
Hmm.
Yeah, the one thing I would
I
say
feel
about
like
your Boston pick, sorry, just to go back real quick, is they need more toughness. There's no doubt they are tough, but like I think the player leading with the most fights already is Trent Frederick, and he's not very intimidating.
yeah,
I think he's only like 5'10", probably like 190 pounds.
he
So you
thinks he's
definitely want.
intimidating.
I mean, I wouldn't want him punching me in the face,
He's a
but
pretty dirty player.
Frederick.
Yeah, I've seen some dirty plays from him, man. I think
Yeah,
he's like he must be watching Martian
yeah, he's watching
all the time.
Marchand's replays. Like, oh, I want to be like Marchand. Who do you got at 11, old friend?
I have the Golden Knights at 11. Um, I don't have too much of a analysis for the reason I have them at 11. I just think there was points earlier in the year where they were struggling, and right now they're playing well, and they've had
Well,
players
fucking
come
not
back
really.
from
They lost
injury.
6-0 to Calgary.
Yeah, well, you can look over that. They won 4-0 against the other night against who was that? The Oilers, right?
Yeah, it was the Oilers.
Yeah, so I mean they've had their ups and downs, but overall they're a really good team. I think they have a lot of big name players, a lot of good pieces. Over the last few years, they've added a lot, so I can't justify putting them below 11. I think they compete every game, and some games they have off nights, but then they have a consistent run of like 8-2 or something. So they're a fair team to play against.
I think they're still at the top of the Central, are they not?
They're up there. They had a shittier record, but they've been building some wins up over the last month or so.
Yeah. Well, January was a really good year for the Vegas Golden Knights, and I think they're Their record is 2-1 in. Yeah, I think they won 2 games on the first or since February or something, and then lost to the Flames big time last night.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I also have the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, they had a good January, and then like to the I don't know later in the season they were losing some games, but it was to teams like Carolina and to Florida, so I don't pay too much attention to that. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Leonard sometimes seems shaky. I know he faces a lot of shots. Like Martinez being out is probably a big reason for the defensive collapse. But he faces a lot of shots. But some nights he gets lit up and just I don't know can't get back into a game. Uh, and he gives up I don't know bad goals. And Stone and Patches are really injury prone. Uh,
They are, yeah. It
so
seems that way.
they're out a lot of games. So the I'm gonna check right now. So they are still at the top of the uh oh they're in the Pacific. Jesus Christ, no wonder they're at the top. They don't got any competition. No, I'm joking. No, they're at the top of the Pacific now. But yeah, they wouldn't be the I don't know the favorites going into the playoffs as of right now if they don't I don't know get all their buys back and get Leonard some confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you got breaking into your top 10? We got a lot of the same teams, man. I think we've
Yeah.
covered all the same teams already.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much even
We
up to this point.
we've been going pretty back and forth.
I
Yeah,
think we're
top
a
10 is going
direct.
to be pretty
I think
similar.
our top 10 is the same 10 teams.
All right, who's your 10?
Nashville.
I got Nashville. What do you think about Nashville?
I think that they're having a comeback year. This is the comeback year for Nashville. This is the redemption story. I think they're going to be a good team, man, and I think they could squeak past a couple rounds in the playoffs sneakily. They've done it before. They went to the
Yeah,
finals. I wouldn't count them out, but I also wouldn't put my fucking chips in on them.
I won't
So
put my last dollar on them, no.
no,
But
they're competitive.
Duchesne's having a season, I mean a career year. Saros is playing like a Vesna candidate. Forsberg is fucking unreal. I think he's got 24 snipes already. They've got a great team, man. They're buzzing.
Yeah, I was shitting on them earlier in the year. I think, but
I was too, man. In our rankings, I had them like as a middling team. They could go either way, and I think I chose to shit on them too.
yeah, not so bad as me choosing Carolina to miss the playoffs.
That was a bad call, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, this guy took Cole Caulfield to win the Calder, so that
Yeah,
was.
but you also said Seattle was gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah, man, you also said
I said
that.
Montreal was gonna make the playoffs.
Playoffs.
So we're pretty we're pretty even on
Yeah,
on
so
that shit.
not much else to say about Nashville. Just a good
No,
competitive team at this point.
for sure.
Who
Who
do
do you
you?
have at number 9?
Well, I want to know who you have at 10. Oh, Nashville. We
Nashville,
already
man. Who
spoke
you got at
about.
number
Okay.
9?
I have the Blues.
I also got the Blues. What do you think about the Blues?
I think that the Blues are. They're just a solid team. And like Berube is a sick coach. We went over that, and Karu's having a great year. Riley's having a decent year. He's still a solid two-way forward. And I like their goaltending. I find Bennington can be a bit of a hothead, and sometimes he can play shit. But overall, I think their team's good. They have a decent defense core, and they just consistently put up wins and play well. So they're just a good team. They're just a solid team. That's my analysis on the Blues.
Yeah, you know what? You look at St. Louis and they always got a backup plan. I mean, they
Yeah.
didn't have a starting goalie 2 years ago, and here comes Bennington, and now Billy Husso is backup, and now they got 2 solid goaltenders. You lose Jaden Schwartz in the expansion draft, you're like,
Vince
fuck, we'll
Dunn.
never be able to
No, they
find a backup.
signed Jaden Schwartz. They lost Vince Dunn in the expansion draft.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Sorry about that. Well, they still lost him either way. They still lost
They
Schwartz.
lost two. Vince Dunn was a
Exactly. And
good
you're like, we're
defenseman
never
too.
going to be able to fill that hole. And they lost Pietrangelo too, right? And you're like, how are they going to fill these holes? Boom, Kyrou comes in, beauty. Boom, Torrey Krug comes in, Justin Fall. I mean, they just keep finding ways to fill holes, and these players work out there. So they got a really good team right now. I think they got a really hard playing team. I mean, was it? No, never mind. It's my next pick that did this, but anyway, yeah. Blues got a good team. Who do you got number 8?
At the Penguins.
Fuck, you ruined it. I don't have the Penguins. What do you think of the Penguins?
I
Okay, I'm
think
gonna play
that.
along. I'm gonna say I had the Penguins too. What do you think of the Penguins?
No, man, that's fine.
No. What's Penguins saying?
The Penguins aren't saying much. They're just winning a nice few games. I mean, they got a solid team overall. Crosby, Malkin. We know the fucking how it goes in Pittsburgh.
Dude, Malk Daddy's
Gensel.
out again with fucking COVID.
Yeah, I know. He's always. I don't trust Malkin anymore. Gensel's a way better player at this point. Um, and Letang's actually having a really good year.
Dude, Letang's sick this year. I thought he was a
Yeah,
boom last year.
yeah. I always think Letang's going to drop off, but he actually keeps having pretty good years. So it's nice to see that. Jarry's not a bad goalie. People were shitting on him after playoffs, the last few
Exactly,
years,
man.
but
Thank you for saying that, man. Because a lot of people were shitting on him, and I kind of wanted to have his
yeah,
back, so I'm happy.
yeah.
So,
He's a good goalie, man. He just had a tough go, but this is a new year, so we'll see what they
dude,
do.
he's a fucking all-star.
Yeah,
Come on.
Pittsburgh's much like Washington, really good team overall. They have their ups and downs, but they could win this cup any year. I feel like just because of what they know and what they've been through.
Definitely, man. And
Yeah.
yeah. So I just got wrote down that Crosby is really starting to gel with Rust and Gensel like they were last year. They're lighting it up. Rust is fucking. He was out all season. He came back and he was scoring like 3 points a game.
Mhm.
With Crosby and Gensel. Jarry's an all-star. Yeah, this team is just a good team right now, man. Who do
Yeah.
you got
So
at 7?
the Wild.
I'm gonna say I have the Wild too. I actually had the Wild at 8 and the Penguins at 7. So this isn't bad. We can just flip them.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
what's the Wild saying in your mind?
Oh, the Wild are competitors. They
Definitely.
you don't count them out, man. They can win any game against any team any day of the fucking week. They have one of the most prolific players in the league in Kirill Kaprizov, an absolute all star. I mean, this guy can put up 5 points almost every night. He's insane. He's always getting assists constantly. Just he's
Dude, the
always on the
guy.
ice. When he's on the ice, something happens every
Yeah,
shift. Doesn't miss a shift. Zuccarello is a gem with Zuccarello. Once they find with Kaprizov, sorry. Once they find that center that fits in there perfectly, Ryan Hartman's having a good year. He's played on that line for a bit. He's actually having a decent year for a
dude, he's
guy who
having a
was in the
career
bottom
year.
six.
This is the
Yeah, he
best
is.
career he's having.
Yeah,
I actually got a stats here, man. He's got 18 goals and 15 assists.
yeah, he's having a great year.
Fucking, he's a beauty, man.
Yeah, compared to when he was in the bottom six last year, he's really stepped up his game and played a major role.
Yeah,
Boldy's having a great start to his career. Way better than I thought. He's looking like a top six forward. Um, and they got more pieces coming in. So I could talk about the Wild for a long time. I'm going to sum it up and say that I think they're due to win a round. I don't know if they go to the conference finals, but I think they're going to progress forward.
yeah.
That's my
And I think
that's.
you summed it up even before that when you said this team is a competitor. I'll tell you the one thing about Minnesota Wild, buddy, they win by committee. There
Mm,
is no team that is more mediocre and doesn't deserve to be where they're to than Minnesota. But
shut up, man.
they
They
come
got an
into
all
play
star
every
goalie.
game, and you know what? They came in to I think Winnipeg was playing Winnipeg, and Jordan Greenway and fucking Marcus Foligno were just throwing hands at center ice, man. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That fired me up so much. You don't see like a tilt at center ice very often, let alone
hmm
two. So
They
they
got some
spoiled
goons.
us. Like I was saying, man, every position is mediocre in Minnesota, sorry, but they play great as a team. They play very simple hockey, get it in, pucks in deep to the net. All dogs go. They're great defensively, man. They got one of the best defensive cores in the league, all the way down to the bottom six, man. Their bottom six could play top 2 minutes in fucking Montreal, top 2 minutes in Arizona, man. These are talented defensemen they got there in Minnesota. So good for them.
Go out. Come on.
Steve's having a little intermission right now to tame the cat.
Nah, she's good. I'm ready for 6.
You ready for sex?
Wow, you heard that wrong.
No, I know, I know. Who do you got? You're ready for 6, buddy. Tell me, who do you got at 6?
I got the Rangers.
The Rangers. All right, I'll play along with that. Why do you think that?
Um, I think they have one of the best coaches in the league, and I think they have one of the most dynamic forward groups in the league. Zibanejad, all these guys are so talented and skilled, and they show up most nights. Panarin, I mean, they got one of the best young defensemen with Fox. He already won a Norris. I just think they have a solid group. They're putting it together. I don't like how they're moving the young guys though. They're still struggling. Lafreniere and Kako. I think one of them's going to go. I think Kako's going to be shipped out eventually, man. When it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You try and get some assets back to make your team better because I don't think Kako or Lafreniere is making that team better as we stand currently. But solid team. Playoffs, they're definitely playoffs. Do they win a round? I think they're one of those teams who probably lose out in the first round. I think a team can overwork these guys in a
Yeah.
7-game series.
Yeah. The big takeaway from the Rangers is there's no better example than the New York Rangers than what a player like Ryan Reeves brings to these teams. This team was garbage for the last 3 years. You bring in a guy like Ryan Reeves, it gives space to so many more players, man. It gives that's why people say I don't know why the enforcer's still a role, but this is the reason why. Ryan Reeves comes to this team, gives all these players so much more room because they know if they attack any of these stars, they're going to be dealing with Reeves, and that's not a guy you want to deal with.
No.
He's probably the strongest, toughest guy in the league right now. So, yeah, they're playing great hockey over the last 10. They're definitely in the top 5. They're in my top 5. Yeah, and they even beat the team that I have at number 1. Just a couple, or I think before the All-Star break. So that's a little teaser for you fans to stay tuned for the next I don't know 10 minutes. Find out who I got at number 1.
Yeah.
Who do you got at number 5?
I had the Hurricanes.
Okay, I had Hurricanes at 6 and New York Rangers at 5. So we're still clipping at a pretty good rate. What are you saying about the Hurricanes?
Yeah, I like them. They're one of the fastest teams. They're probably the fastest team in the league in terms of speed. They're on you like a sack of shit, man. They don't give you an inch. Forecheck, forecheck, forecheck. This team is kings when it comes to that. Really solid forecheckers, and they make you make decisions really quickly. They make you, Jesus, we've been
I
talking
think
for
you
a
said it
while.
right the first time.
Yeah, they make you,
Make
they
decisions.
force you to make decisions quickly. That's
Okay,
a better structure, sentence structure. Yeah, so they're just fast and a lot of underrated players there, and Anderson's having a great year. I didn't expect it. I figured when they changed out both goalies, we spoke about this earlier in the year on different episodes. I think when you change up 2 goalies, it can kind of shake up a room, but it worked out for them, and I think they could go on a run for a cup this year. They're that good.
definitely, man. Yeah, they should definitely be a lot higher on my list. I had them at 6, and that's only because they lost to Ottawa the last game. I guess that's just having a bad 2 periods though, because they own that third period. The Carol, like you said, just they dumped the puck in, and they were on you in 3 seconds, if that, from blue line to corner in 3 seconds, and then on your ass, buddy. You got to make a decision. Uh, yeah, so really good hockey out of Carolina. Not like you said, just you wouldn't expect them to be so good because they changed both goalies, but I think that's just because we have never seen that before in NHL history, and that's why it was so confusing. But yeah, Magic's there showing off in the background. That's why we're giggling a little bit for you podcasting.
Yeah.
She's jumping on the bed,
Yeah.
putting on a show.
Oh yeah.
You got
She loves the
at
attention.
Yeah, buddy, she don't move until the camera goes on. She fucking then
Yeah.
gets right surly and starts whipping around. Who do you got number 4?
I had the Leafs.
Okay, yeah, I can go along with that.
Absolutely solid. They're winning the cup.
And that's all you got to say on them, eh?
No, they've got so much talent, and I think they're learning to play the right way. They've lost so much that I think it's that year that they finally get over the hump. I don't know if I'm saying they win the cup because I've said it at the start of the year, so I got to keep saying it. But if I was talking as an outsider, I'd say, well, maybe they don't win the cup, but maybe they get round 2. Maybe they get the conference finals and lose. Conference finals loss would be a success for this franchise, and it's a push in the right direction. So let's hope that we see a round 1. That's what we want as Leafs fans, and I think we're getting there. I think this is the year they win around.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. You know what? I can definitely see that if they're gonna end up playing Tampa Bay at this point. I mean, Florida's running away with it.
Oh,
Florida's gonna
it's
play Boston. Florida's gonna shit kick Boston, and then Toronto and Tampa's gonna be a good series. I think the only way Toronto wins against Tampa is because Tampa has been doing this for since what 2015. They've been consistently going deep in the playoffs, and their players are tired. So I think if Tampa Bay runs out of steam, I think Toronto can get past them, and then they got to get past Florida.
I think Toronto has a way better shot of beating Tampa Bay in the playoffs than a team like Boston. I think it's a
Really,
mental
I
game
think I think
where
they
they
got
know.
if Toronto can get the number one and play Boston, easy round two. They're going to have to work to get past Tampa Bay, but I don't think any team in the Atlantic right now beats Florida Panthers. I think Florida at least goes to the conference finals.
I
That's another topic for a
yeah
different podcast.
yeah
Let's get back to it. So yeah, I'd agree with you there that they're around number four. They're on a 6-game winning streak right now. They're absolutely on fire. Mitch and
playing tonight,
Matthews have been lights out.
playing in 28 minutes.
What?
They're playing in 28 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So that's gonna be. I don't know who they playing.
I don't know. I haven't looked yet, but I know they are. I forget.
Good stuff. Yeah, they have a chance to make it 7 straight games. I contribute this win pretty much to 3 guys. It's got to be Matthews, Mitch, and Jack Campbell. All 3 of them have been playing really good hockey, man. And if they keep it up, there's no doubt in my mind that they secure a second spot at least in this division.
hmm
Who do you got at number 3?
I have the Florida Panthers.
All right. Okay. Not bad. What do you think
I
about that?
like them. They're scoring a lot of goals. When it's all on the line for me, I believe that the other 2 teams are better teams. I think they can score a lot of goals and they can dazzle you. They have a good defense structure as well, and they're playing really good. I like Burnett as a coach after Quenneville left. But I think the other 2 teams are better, so I put Florida third of result of that, not result of their bad team because they're not. They're an excellent team. I think just the other 2 teams are better, and
Yeah.
it's pretty
Yeah,
much where I have them.
I didn't necessarily rank this as who I think the better team is. I think it's just like probably I ranked these in like the last 10 games and how
Yeah,
they
well,
are
I
performing.
think the other teams are probably playing.
Yeah,
The Florida's
because how
lost
I
a few
had it,
though.
I went along because I thought you were gonna wrap it up like me, but I had Tampa Bay at number 4. So I think Toronto is at number 3 for me anyway.
hmm
But I think Tampa Bay is at number 4 because they got the best goalie in the league and probably the best team we've seen in the 2000s, or one of the best teams at least in the last century.
hmm
Century meaning 2000, the year 2000 and up. Um, but they're not playing great hockey right now. I mean, obviously they're so tired. They've been through 2 cups and then 2 cup parties over the summer, so they're definitely tired. But they'll definitely turn it on in the playoffs. But for right now, Tampa Bay is at number 4. Toronto's at number 3. You had Florida at number 3. I want to hear who your number 2 is.
I at Tampa.
Tampa at number
I
2.
don't. Yeah, I think Tampa's still clipping along and they're doing great. I don't think they're that far behind Florida. Maybe a couple points. I For what they are and for what they've won, I think currently in this power ranking in this day of this month of this year, I think that Tampa Bay is still a better team, and I think they've been playing well too. So I don't want to discredit them. I think my they're the second team here now for me at top of the league.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know. I gave them a bit of shit because I think, well, in their last 10, I think they've only lost 3 games. Tampa Bay has, so they're still a great team. But I don't know. Toronto lately, 6-game winning streak, so I couldn't put Tampa ahead of Toronto. My number 2 is Colorado. Have you ever looked at their home record?
Colorado's no.
Colorado's home record is unreal. It's like 16-3. They don't lose on home
Wow,
ice very often. Like they are lights out.
wow.
They they lost a bad game to Arizona, man. And I was gonna have Colorado at number 1, um,
hmm
but they lost a brutal game to Arizona. I guess it was only 3-2. But then besides that, I'm pretty sure, yeah, in their last like 10 games, man, they only lost that one to Arizona. Um, So yeah, they have an unbelievable home record, like I just said, a powerhouse of a team. And right now, I think they're my cup favorites. I think
That cat's
Magic is
going
still flying
wild.
around the back. Magic came back just
Yeah.
in time to talk about our first team. Who do you have at number one?
I have the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah,
Do I have to explain any more? I mean, dynamic team. They can shoot the puck extremely well. They can defend well. Devon Taves is an underrated defenseman. All things considered, I do believe they're the best team in the league right now. I don't know if they win the cup. I think they have a good shot at it. But we'll see. I think they can go on that run, and they've been meaning to break through for a while. So be nice to see a guy like McKinnon raise it. He really works hard and works on his game.
yeah, it'd be nice to see a guy like McKinnon not eat his teeth from a check from Taylor Hall. But that's besides the point. Um, yeah, um, yeah. At number one, I agree with you. Colorado's definitely there, but for me, it's definitely Florida right now. They have the best goal differential in the league. I think they're a plus 20 or plus 55. Um, so um, I just had to pull up Colorado's home record. It's 22-2. So they've played 24 games on home ice and they've lost 4. So that's pretty impressive. But the Florida Panthers, their home record is 23-3-0. So they've played 26 games and have won 23. So both these teams are incredible on home ice. Um, I think Florida's leading the league in points. I don't even know how to fucking check. I'm terrible at this computer stuff. Yeah, Florida is in front of Colorado by 1 point. And besides that, Florida's also been playing unreal. I think they've got the best team currently in the league. I think they've got great goaltending. They've got Norris level defenseman and Ekblad, and they've got relentless goal scoring. And that's not even to mention Huberdeau is up for the Hart and the Art Ross. I think both those trophies could find their way to Huberdeau's fucking. I was gonna say China cabinet trophy case.
No, he can. He's definitely going to be up for some awards. An incredible year for him. Really showcasing he's one of the best players in the league, and he was a high pick a while back, and he's been good for a long time. It's good that he's starting to get noticed that way.
Yeah, definitely. That was a bit of fun, Steve.
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah, I respect all your picks.
I
That we were
respect
pretty
yours
close,
too.
man. We were once it
Yeah,
got to probably the 25 to 18 mark, we were all over the place. But outside of that, we were pretty much bang on going pick for
yeah,
pick.
yeah. I mean, you can observe this as a hockey fan and kind of make good decisions. It's easy to go off the board if you want, but if you really look at it, you say, well, you can kind of get in the ballpark of each other
Yeah,
pretty
my only
easily.
regret, Jesus, man, what a speech impediment or something I got going on here tonight. My only regret is I would have put Vancouver higher up just because that bad start really did leave a bad stain on them, and they are playing really good hockey now. They dropped a game to the New York Islanders, but that's just one game. I shouldn't have looked at it that hard. I'd probably swap them with the Sharks now if I have my time back, but it's done. So
There'll be another power rankings one of these later on in the
I don't think there
season.
will be, man. I think
Later on in the season, I think we can arrange something.
you're talking like a mobster. We'll arrange something.
Well arranged.
Yeah, we'll
We
arrange.
always find a way.
That's right. All right, Steve. That's it for me. You wanted to
Yeah,
give the fans a little message there?
yeah. You
Yeah.
should follow us on Instagram at Hockey Tank. Follow us on YouTube at Hockey Tank Podcast. We don't get as many views on YouTube. It's unfortunate. We do pretty good on the Spotify and Apple, better than YouTube, which is nice. But I'd like to see YouTube get up, so definitely follow us there. And we're pretty active on Instagram too. Those are our only social platforms yet. We haven't reached out to Facebook or anything, but that's
Yeah,
probably going to
we're
be
gonna get on MySpace, Tumblr, and
yeah
fucking
Tumblr,
Craigslist
just
next
hockey
week.
things.
Yeah,
But yeah, go do that.
yeah, guys. Yeah, if you've ever been debating, I mean, watching our YouTube videos, don't even watch them. Listen to the podcast honestly, and then just go and leave a comment. We just want to talk to you guys. That's kind of
Yeah,
like our only way to talk to you guys. So I mean, if you don't like, watching YouTube videos for an hour and a half, I don't blame you. I don't either. I'd much
yeah.
rather listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
So just listen to the podcast for, I don't know, an hour, skip through the boring parts if there is any. I can't really think of any off the top of my head. And then just go leave a comment on that corresponding video because we really
Yeah.
would like to get some of your guys' opinions.
Yep. So I guess that's it for this episode.
All right, good stuff, guys. Stay safe, keep warm, keep your loved ones close to you. Have a good Black History Month, February. Keep that in mind, and we'll see you next week. So take care, guys.
See ya.